round. Amazing detail. Who made that? DARPA. This one is one of the more badass ones, and it's actually kind of scary. It's actually real, just like Transformers and the Ninja Turtles, who are not nice at all, no matter how they are depicted in the cartoon.
Many Monday.
Shoot through with Trident vibes.
Die through with Trident dies.
This tire is made by a group called DARPA, which sounds fancy. Then you learn that DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and it all becomes very terrifying. You might know them for this terrifying robot dog that they made with Boston. Also, they invented the internet. Yeah. This internet. And they also invented these sick tire wheels. Basically, at the flip of a switch, the tire goes from being a normal, pretty badass looking round tire to a triangular tank track in literally 2 seconds. I know what you're saying. James, do we need triangular wheels? And I have one thing to say to you. I forgive you for asking such a stupid question. The contact patch of a triangle is way larger than on a round tire, and as a result, you get some serious grip gains. So basically, any car can be a tank, all thanks to the power of triangles. And this guy's doing it right, too. You gotta do back front triangle. That's how you roll around. Thank you very much. Next tire. Okay, this next tire isn't the craziest one on this list, but we wanted to include it because it's called the Kumho eNymph. Basically, it combines the sustainability and longevity of an airless tire with the comfort and performance of a regular pneumatic tire. Remember that from before? It's kind of like the Uptis that we talked about before, but it's called the eNymph. There's something you guys might not know about me. I love dandelions. I love the fact that they're yellow. I love that you can pick one up and put it behind your ear and look fantastic. I love that they make any romantic comedy scene look more romantic. I love their natural Fibonacci pedal structure. I love that when they get older, they turn into a little fluff ball that you can make a wish on. But the thing I love most about dandelions is apparently you can turn them into tires. And Continental is doing exactly that.
Directional.
You didn't know making a tire is a pretty insane process and can cause a lot of environmental damage. Nolan did a deep dive on that entire subject, and you should check it out. It's a very good video. I will put the link to it at the end of this one, and that's where the dandelions come in. Okay, Continental discovered that a Russian species of dandelion contains a natural latex in the root. Okay, this latex offers the same performance and usability as today's tires, and dandelions grow 7 times faster than rubber trees. And you can plant them anywhere because they're literally a weed. So just imagine a beautiful tire manufacturing plant surrounded by huge, beautiful fields of Russian dandelions. We call them plant plants. You park your car and you frolic right in, scan your badge, go to work. Let's get it going. We saved this one for last because it is literally the most insane tire in this world, and also Mars.
Goodyear/NASA memory alloy tire.
Space freaks have been trying to make cars that drive on Mars since the 70s, but one of the biggest problems, surprisingly, has been the tires. The current Mars rover uses lightweight aluminum, which worked for a while, but turns out, just like calling people simps, Mars is toxic. And after a while, the metal tires start breaking down, which is not good when you think about how the Mars rover costs around $2.5 billion. So Goodyear, good old Goodyear, and NASA went back to the old drawing board, and they came up with a pretty good solution. To look to the future, they look to the past. Talking chainmail, man. The new Mars rover is gonna have tires that are made out of metal. It's called nickel titanium alloy, or nitinol, because NASA loves to shorten stuff. Not only is nitinol stronger, but it's lighter than a normal tire, which is really crucial in space travel. Every ounce counts. The metal still gets brittle at low temperatures, which might make it easier for metal to break. True, except that this metal has a little trick up its little metal sleeves. The thing about nitinol is It's got this thing called shape memory, which basically means that no matter how the metal gets bent or twisted, it can return back to its original shape if exposed to the right variables. For instance, temperature or pressure, two things that are in extreme abundance on Mars. Okay, NASA and Goodyear programmed the Nitinol tires to reform to their original shape when they're on the surface of the red planet, allowing the tire to maintain its original shape after being put under stress. So now, when the little Mars explorer gets into a pickle with some big Martian rocks, not only will these bad boys glide right over top of them, but they ain't breaking down for nobody, man. I wish I could reform into my original shape after I get all twisted. This was kind of a fun, sciencey one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know if you want more fun, sciencey stuff. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's how we know that we're doing a good job. Like I said,
Junkie soup, with its abundance of nourishing veggies and big pieces of seasoned meat. Junkie is good stuff you can feel good about. And when you feel good, who knows what kind of good you might do. Your debit, your favorite band. Your ride, your perfect night. Your debit, your way. Confidently shop at thousands of online retailers and don't pay for unauthorized purchases with Visa Zero Liability. TD Access Card with Visa Debit.
Rubber. It's used everywhere, but I usually associate it with car tires. It's plentiful and relatively cheap, but not so long ago, that wasn't the case. In fact, some countries would go to such extreme lengths to get it that they basically committed genocide. This one's gonna be depressing. Today, we're looking at the dark history of rubber and the material's connection to one of the most heinous crimes in history. Rubber is super important in the car world. All the horsepower your car makes would mean nothing if the power doesn't get put to the ground through your tires. In fact, if you want to improve the performance of any car, the first place you should start is by upgrading tires. Rubber is used in other crucial places too. Weather seals keep your interior safe from the elements, and your car probably relies on super strong rubber belts on the front of the engine to keep everything running. Without rubber, cars would probably not exist as we know them. Before we really get into things, first you have to know that there are two kinds of rubbers, natural and synthetic. Nowadays, most rubber you come in contact with was derived from petroleum. Through the process of styrene copolymerization, we get styrene butadiene rubber. Not quite sure what that means, but it's really durable and can stand up to road use. But before synthetics were developed, rubber had to be made another way, which was a lot harder. Natural rubber comes from a tree called the rubber tree. Harvesters carve a line into the tree's trunk, causing it to bleed a milky sap. This substance is called latex. The sap drips down the tree into a bucket where it's collected by harvesters, who let it coagulate, and then it's pressed and dried, ready for manufacturing use. Civilizations as old as the Olmec in Central America used rubber harvested from the trees. They used natural rubber to make textiles waterproof and to make balls for a game called poke-to-poke. The wonderfully bouncy material made its way to Europe in the mid-1700s. And all of a sudden, the continent fell in love with it. And any imperial country with colonies overseas, i.e. most of them, started planting rubber trees wherever they would grow. Britain had rubber plantations in India, and the Dutch had rubber growing in the East Indies. A little country called Belgium found somewhere a little less crowded. The first king of independent Belgium was King Leopold. He died in 1865 and was succeeded by his second-born son, Leopold II. He didn't really have that much power. His only responsibilities really were addressing Parliament, attending the funerals of dead statesmen, and greeting big guests. That sounds pretty boring. Leopold wanted more. He wanted a colony. He wanted to make some money. But where could Belgium set up shop? First, he wanted to buy a province in Argentina, but that didn't really work out. Then, he offered to buy Borneo from the Dutch, and they said no. So he went to Spain, and no joke, asked if he could lease the Philippines. They also said no. Honestly, dude, you're coming off pretty desperate. And it's not like the Belgian parliament was standing behind him, because they weren't. Colonies were stupid expensive, and they didn't believe Leopold